Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariyana Byers, and if this is your first time ever watching my channel, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Please be sure to subscribe. Guys, in today's video, just like I told you all in my Christian Girl must-have video, if you have not seen that, please make sure you click the description box down below, click the link, and go check that video out, and then come back and watch this one. But just like I told you all in that video, I plan on doing a lot more Christian and spiritual videos. So here I am today with another one where I will be sharing with you guys a situation that God worked out. None of the odds were in my favor, but because I had God on my side, He literally worked it out. So if you're interested in hearing my story, please continue to watch. Alright guys, so a little bit of background about me. I am 21 and I live on my own in an apartment with two roommates who I love so much. But recently we have decided that after this year we are going to go our separate ways. This is our second year living together, and you know, we're just going off and doing different things, so we want to live on our own. So with that being said, of course I have to find somewhere to stay on my own after I move out of here. We don't have much longer for our lease, so I really just wanted to get something locked in and in place so that way when we move out I will be taken care of. And so I started looking and searching for different apartments, but I really couldn't find anything that I was super settled on. So I started getting frustrated looking. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna get all upset about an apartment. God, I need you to help me. I just prayed and I asked God to help me find the apartment that I was supposed to be living in after I moved out of the one I'm in now. And so after a couple days, I felt like God told me to apply at these certain apartments, which I really liked, and they were at the top of my list. So I went. Now, if you know anything about getting an apartment, you know that you have to go through a credit check, rental history, all these different things. Because I have only lived in college apartments where you literally don't have to do any of those things, I wasn't aware of the process that you had to go through. But I knew that these apartments were the ones that God wanted me to live in. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm thinking I'm just going to go pay my deposit money, sign my lease, and I'm done. So I go in and I told the lady, you know, I'm looking for an apartment that I'm going to be moving into, you know, at this certain time. And she's like, okay, cool. We have some available for that time. And I'm like, awesome. So she gives me the application. I fill out the application. And after that, I have my money for my deposit and I'm going to hand it to her. And she's like, well, before we do that, we have to do a credit check. Now, like I told you guys, I am 21 and I don't have much credit at all. Literally, I don't have any credit. So the lady was like, you know, we're going to go ahead and do this credit check. And I said, okay. But then her computer was down and her internet wasn't working, so she told me that I could come back. And I'm like, no, you know, I really don't want to come back. I want to go ahead and sign this lease now, so what can I do? And it just so happened I had like the Credit Karma app on my phone, so I just showed her my credit score, showed her the things that were on my credit. Now, because I didn't have any good credit, and I did end up having 3 medical bills on my credit that I was aware of, but then again I wasn't aware of. But anyway, that's a different story. So I was just like, okay, this is my credit score, these are the things that I have on my credit. Since your computers are down, here's all the information you need, so can I go ahead and sign my lease? And because I had 3 medical bills on my credit, she tells me, you know, I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to live here because you have these medical bills. It's affecting your credit and we just don't allow that here. So I'm sitting here looking at her at this point like, no girl, God has told me that these are the apartments that I'm supposed to live in. I don't know what y'all got going on, but what can I do? So I just asked her, I was like, okay, so what can I do to live here? Like, I know this is where I'm supposed to be. What can I do? And she tells me, she's like, well, there's really nothing you can do. And I'm like, no, there has to be something. Like, I'm supposed to be here. And she's looking at me like I'm crazy because I was like, I really feel like I'm supposed to live here, so what can I do? And she told me, she said, well, if you go and you pay off, I had 2 small medical bills. She's like, if you go and pay off your 2 small medical bills and you set up a payment arrangement with the big one, then and only then we can go ahead and sign your lease. I don't know if she thought I was gonna go and do all this or not, but I was like, okay. So I left. I was upset, y'all. Like, I was super upset. I'm not even gonna lie. I cried when I got in the car because I really expected to sign my lease that day, and I'm like, God, you told me I'm gonna live here. Don't really understand what's going on right now, but I'm just gonna trust you. So when I got home, I went ahead and I called the 2 small credit people, whatever, the people who had my bill basically, and the one that was a little higher than the other, I called. And I asked the lady, you know, hey, I have this medical bill, I need to make a payment. At the time, I did not have all of the money to pay off the 2 small bills and to make a payment arrangement with the big one and pay my deposit. That would have been easily over $800, and I was like, I can't do that comfortably today. So I just planned on calling to make payments on all of them and eventually paying them off. So whenever I called, the lady told me, she was like, hey, and I asked her if I could make a payment, and she said, I'll tell you what, she said, if you make a payment and you pay half of your total, we will just go ahead and cancel the whole bill altogether with, if you just pay half of it. And I'm like, pay half of it? Absolutely, I will definitely pay half of it. And so I paid half of it, and she said, okay, thank you. This account is now closed, and that's all you have to do. Like, you don't have to make any more payments. We're going to close the account. And I'm like, okay, God, like, I see what you're doing here. I see you're working things out. Okay, you know. And so after that, I was like, okay, well, I have another small medical bill that I need to figure out. So I called the next one, and I'm like, hopefully I can pay half on this one too. Well, I call, and I'm like, hey, I'm calling to make a payment on my account. The lady asked me, she's like, what's your name and your first and last name? So I tell her, and she's like, I'm sorry, we can't find an account with your name on it. And she's like, I see one, but it's already, she's like, for some reason it was sent somewhere else. Like, you know, it's basically gone. I didn't even really understand what she was saying, but I knew it was God. And the thing is, you don't understand everything that God is doing. So I was like, God, you go ahead and take care of that, you know, as long as whatever. Anyway, so she tells me that they can't find an account with my name on it that's active. Basically tells me she's going to file a dispute to take the one that showed up on my credit that wasn't supposed to be there, to take that one off, and that I didn't have to pay anything and I didn't have to worry about it, y'all. So I got to pay one half off, and it closed out the account. Then the second one, she tells me that they can't even find my account, and they take that one off the credit. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I feel so bad that I cried and, like, you know, basically pitched this fit earlier. I'm like, God, please forgive me, because I should have known you were working it out. You already told me this is where I'm going to live, and I should have known it. So then I get to the huge medical bill that I have. Not huge, but it's bigger than the other 2. So at this point, literally, I only have that one left. The other 2 things that I had on my credit don't even exist anymore. And I call and I asked the lady about it, and she told me, yeah, you know, you do have this bill, and she told me I could set up a payment plan, which was super affordable, and I did that. And so at that point, I had 2 medical bills gone, and one I was on a payment plan on, and I only paid half of the one bill. Like, I am winning. So at this point, I still have enough money to go back, pay my deposit, and do everything that I need to do. So I go back in the office of the apartments because, like, I'm already, like, I'm winning at this point. So I'm walking in with my receipt, showing her everything that I've paid. You know, I'm feeling good. I'm like, God, I have my back. Like, he's with me. Yes. And I go in there and I show her everything that I did. And she says, okay, well, you can go ahead and sign your lease. We will be happy to have you living here whenever, you know, your other lease runs out. And I was just so shocked. I was just like, oh my gosh, yay. Like, I'm so happy that I got this apartment, and I was just super overjoyed because it's the apartments that I really wanted to live in, and on top of that, the apartments that I really know that God wanted me to live in because he worked everything out. So I just wanted to encourage you guys, like, if there's something that God has promised you, do not be super discouraged if the situation doesn't look like it's going to work out. Because the truth is, God is working behind the scenes. Your situation doesn't have to look like it's going to work out in order for God to manifest what He's told you. So just make sure that you keep faith in God no matter what it looks like. I don't care if everything is falling apart. Trust in God, and I promise you He will see you through. He hears your prayers. He loves you, and He's working on your behalf, but you have to trust Him and you have to endure the process. And I'm telling you, amazing things will happen. So continue to trust God, continue to have faith in God. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please be sure to comment them down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Also be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one and tons of other types of videos. So thanks so much for watching. Bye.